Hello and welcome to the Travel Troll and his assistant Mazzy. Right, where have we brought them today, Mazzy?
Don't know what it's called.
It's called St Mary's Church.
Okay.
St Mary's Church.
Yep.
What village are we in? We're in Akenham. Akenham, St Mary's Church. Now, it says on my piece of paper, this is quite interesting, it is said that the devil lives here and that he can be woken from his infernal sleep by anyone brave enough to risk their life. That's what it says. We'll get on to that in a bit, but there's more of a story to tell you first. Very interesting place. I suppose the first thing worth mentioning is there's somebody in this graveyard somewhere called Sir Edward Walgrave. Is it Grave? Walgrave, ironically. Sir Edward Walgrave is in a grave in this churchyard. Can't be bothered looking for him, to be honest with you, but he was chief advisor to Queen Mary.
Oh.
Yep, chief advisor to Queen Mary, so he was quite important. He's in here somewhere. There's not that many graves, to be honest. There's only about maybe 80 graves. I'm guessing there's a lot of headstones which have gone missing. But he's in here somewhere. But the church is also known for somebody else, very famous. Someone who changed the law in England in burial places.
Okay.
You don't know anything about this,
No.
do you? I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you because I know these things. So the church yard, if you like, the church graveyard, is also known for changing the law. It changed the Burial Reformation Act, all because of this little boy, 2-year-old Joseph. Now Joseph, how old was he? Joseph Ramsey, 2 years old, he was denied a Christian burial. Can you believe that? They won't give him a Christian burial because he wasn't baptised. And the Reverend Drury at the time, he was known for preaching hellfire and damnation from his pulpit inside the church. Now this church, it's got a lot of links with the devil, so I'll go into that in more detail in a minute, but I want to concentrate on Joseph at the moment. Firstly, I want to say, I watched a YouTube video last night of somebody doing this, okay? He tried to say, everyone says this is Joseph, but it's not. This is actually Joseph's grave. Now, can I just show you this grave, please? That is not a grave, that is not a stone. There is no grave there. He is trying to say that the church wouldn't allow Joseph to be buried in the churchyard because he hadn't been baptised. So he's actually buried over there somewhere. Now that might be true, I don't know, but that isn't his gravestone. So don't go around making YouTube videos with false facts. That is not true. Either that's his gravestone or there isn't a gravestone. He's definitely buried here and none of the others say this child's name on it. That one's blank, so I'm guessing that one is it. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up. So poor Joseph's gravestone can still be seen to the north of the churchyard. Churchyard north. It's there. So the old law said that if you weren't baptised, you couldn't be buried in a Church of England churchyard. Okay? This poor kid wasn't baptised. He wasn't Church of England, if you like, so the Reverend refused to bury him here. Eventually, he got talked into it by another Reverend from a nearby church. They let him be buried here, but there was a big scandal about it. They were saying, look, this is ridiculous, this is a 2-year-old kid, give the kid a burial, he wants burying. So it went nationwide, did this, everyone's in uproar about it, furious. So it led to them actually changing the law, where it became more acceptable for churches to actually start allowing some people in. So that was the Burial Reformation Act of 1880. Now, some people say that since that act got changed and more people who weren't baptised could come into the graveyards, that released the devil. That gave the devil a reason to get into the Church of England because he could come through the people who weren't baptised and get into the graveyards and do bad things. And he did bad things here, apparently. One interesting thing about the church is it was derelict. They'd stopped using it a long time ago, well before the war. I don't know when exactly, it might have been about 1900. They'd stopped using it, it was just a derelict building. But during World War II, the Germans were flying over and they just needed to drop the bombs. I think they were going on the way back home and they had too many bombs still on there. And they just dropped all the bombs and a lot of them landed on or near the church. So it had to be rebuilt. So the windows, they're not stained glass anymore, they're just plain. And a lot of the church isn't original. So that's just a little fact for you. Another little fact for you is you still think we're at that church, don't you? We're not. We're at another church because I forgot to tell you that little bit. And Mazzy says, well, there's a church over here. Why don't you just pretend that we're still in that churchyard? So very good idea, very clever, but we're actually in a different place. Right, back to the other church, the original church, St Mary's. So here you have a split gravestone. Now it's said that the devil actually sleeps under there. Now I don't know what the actual person who is buried here would think about that, because there's obviously somebody buried there. But apparently the devil is under the split gravestone and you can release him. You can release the devil. To do that, it's very simple, and it's a true story obviously. You have to walk around the church anti-clockwise 13 times and that releases the devil. So we have to put this to the test because a lot of paranormal people have been here and done little tests and things. And they say that they see a change in the atmosphere. It gets cooler, it gets darker. It's like weird. You feel weird. So we have to put this to the test, don't we, Mazzy?
Oh, yes.
So I've got to go around this church 13 times. Now, because I'm the travel troll and I'm a professional, and it's early and I can't be bothered, I think it'd be a really good idea if you did the walking bit.
Okay.
Would you like to go around the church 13 times to summon the devil?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Come on, you're only on number 6 or 7. Come on, get going. Come on, Mazzy, come on, one more. You're nearly there. Go on, lass. Go on. Proud of her. Okay, here she comes for the 13th time. 13th time, come on, love. Come on, you can do it, you're nearly here. Come on, come here, come stand with me to this very spot. This is 13 times. Well done. Now get your breath. Let me adjust the light, that's it. So, I'll tell you something, I'm tired myself just watching. How do you feel?
Oh, fantastic. No, I'm worn out.
Yeah, but I don't mean like that, I mean spiritually. I mean, can you feel anything devilly?
No, not yet.
You don't feel like you've summoned the devil?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you feel like it's got any darker?
It has. But it might be because I'm tired.
What about temperature? Is it any colder?
No, I'm hotter.
It's hotter?
Yeah.
Do you believe the story that the devil has been summoned here today?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So where is it then?
It's gonna get us today.
Gonna get us?
Today.
Today, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, I think it's a load of you know what. It's a load of rubbish, come on. It's a church, it's a holy place, it's where good people come and do good things for the God and for Jesus and for stuff like that, and have parties and christenings and weddings and things, and funerals. But it's all good, it's all Christian stuff. The devil isn't here. He wouldn't dare come here. That's my personal opinion. What do you think of the place?
Nice and quiet.
Very nice and quiet, that's about it really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do like the fact that this actual churchyard changed history, allowing non-baptised people to be buried in churchyards around the whole of Britain, all because of this 2-year-old over there who wasn't baptised. Anyway, thanks for joining us here at Akenham, St Mary's Church. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.
Bye.